Elon Musk learned rocket science faster than most people learn how to cook. Alex Hormozi built a $100 million business in just 4 years. Imagine having that kind of confidence. And no, it's not because they're naturally gifted. They just discovered something about learning that most people will never understand. See, I've spent 5 years testing different learning methods, over $10,000 on courses and programs, and thousands of hours watching tutorials. All to discover that 90% of what we're taught about learning is just backwards. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you that the right way to learn is completely wrong. If you're watching this, you've probably felt it. Endless tutorials, courses that go nowhere, and watching others succeed whilst you're in a constant loop of failing. See, I discovered a framework that changed everything. It's the same one used by Alex Hormozi, Elon Musk, and Naval Ravikant. It helped me learn skills that usually takes months. And the crazy part, it works by doing less, not more. After wasting thousands of hours learning the wrong way, I now understand why most people fail, and more importantly, what actually works. Today I'm breaking down the exact system I use to learn anything 10 times faster. And this isn't just about learning faster. It's about finally becoming the person you could be. Let me show you how. You know that feeling where you're scared to start something because you feel like you're gonna look stupid? I get it. Then I discovered why the most confident people actually start by doing everything completely wrong. Let me tell you something, that changed everything for me. Last year, I was stuck in this cycle of watching endless tutorials, reading every book I could find, but never actually getting better at anything. Does that sound familiar? I kept thinking I just needed to learn more before I start. Maybe you felt that too. That fear of looking stupid, cringe, of not being ready. The most confident people I can think of, they start by doing everything wrong. Take Naval Ravikant. This guy can learn faster than almost anyone on the planet. And he does the opposite of what we were taught since we were kids. Let me show you exactly how this works. Instead of spending months studying the perfect YouTube strategy, I did something different. See, in just 3 months, I committed to making 53 videos. Not necessarily a fancy setup, no perfect scripts, just me, my camera, and a willingness to look fucking stupid. By video 10, most of them flopped. Video 20, I started to see patterns in what worked. By video 30, I started to understand my audience. Video 40, things started to click. I learned more from those 53 videos than a year of studying how to go viral. Why? Because every video gave me real feedback. When people clicked away, I found out the hook didn't work. When they watched to the end, I understood why. Real data equals real improvements. My channel has not blown up to millions of subscribers, but I have nearly doubled my following in just 3 months. Why? Well, because I'm focused on the destination. I'm focused on that consistent cycle of make a video, learn from the feedback, improve, and repeat. That's the power of immediate application instead of sitting there wondering, what if? You're actually getting better in real time. If I keep this pace, keep learning, keep implementing, I will eventually be able to make the best videos possible. Not because I'm special, but because I'm willing to put in the reps over the people that are stuck there watching tutorials. Wait. I realize this is all amazing and fancy, but what if you don't know where to start? Or what to practice? See, that's where I suggest starting to implement first principles. Yeah, some of you might have heard that before because it's the principle that has had a massive influence on Elon Musk's success. Let me tell you about the day that I realized I was approaching everything backwards. I was trying to copy what worked for everybody else, scared of disappointing my parents and everyone around me, until I discovered how Elon Musk does things differently. He uses Aristotle's approach to learning. He literally used it to learn rocket science, like actual rocket science. And as a mechanical engineer, I can tell you that that is fucking insane. Instead of studying rocket designs, he asked the most basic questions. What are the core components of propulsion? What is the most effective engine type? And what's the minimum needed to actually make this work? He broke down everything into its simplest form. Let me explain how I use this to build my own AI app. Most people would start by trying to learn every programming language, every design principle, every framework, and that's what I thought I needed to do as well. Instead, I tried to break it down to its absolute basics. What makes a modern AI app work? I didn't need to know every single line of code. I needed to understand prompting, RAG systems, and user experience. What makes users actually want to use an app? Well, it's not fancy features, instead a clean design and fast responses. I focused on learning these core components. Not every programming concept, just the fundamental building blocks. Not every design principle, just what makes an interface feel smooth and intuitive. Simply put, this changed everything. Instead of getting lost in tutorial hell trying to learn everything, I focused on these key elements. The result? I went from barely knowing anything about coding to building and deploying my own AI app. Not because I became a master programmer, but because I understood the fundamental principles that actually matter. When I got stuck, I didn't waste my time trying to understand syntax. I just used AI tools to help me debug. Because I realized something. In 2025, knowing every detail is not as important as understanding the fundamentals that make things work. Now that you know how to learn through action, you might be thinking, but how do I know if I'm practicing the right things? This is where I learned something game-changing from Alex Hormozi. After you start to take action, you might realize that some people just seem to get better results. But this isn't random. There's a pattern to success, and once you do see it, you can't really unsee it. When I started to analyze the top 1% of people in any field, content creators, entrepreneurs, athletes, I noticed they all follow a specific pattern. So here's exactly what I learned from Hormozi. First, you identify the top 10% outcomes, aka the best performing videos, the highest converting sales pages, the most effective workouts. Then you look for the gap. What are they doing that the bottom 90% aren't doing? I'll give you an example. When I analyzed the top 10% of videos in my niche, I found something surprising. While everyone is focusing on fancy editing and crazy storytelling structures, the top performers were obsessing over providing value to their audience's problems. They weren't doing things differently. They were focusing on understanding the problems and solutions as well as possible. But here's where it gets interesting. These patterns show up everywhere. The same framework that helps you spot a good video is also the same framework to determine a good workout or a great business strategy. It's not about copying what works, it's about understanding why it works. Once you understand how to analyze this, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. I used this to literally win my first jiu-jitsu tournament in a matter of weeks because I wasn't focusing on the same mistakes everyone else was making. Instead of trying everything, I was focused on what actually is proven to work. Congrats, you now know how to learn better than 90% of people. But here's what most people miss. The same system that helps you learn 10 times faster is also the key to building your dream life. In fact, I actually use these principles to eventually graduate with my engineering degree, and I will continue to as I build my career. And in this video, I break down how to actually apply this framework to transform your entire life in 2025. Consider watching it if you want to discover how to take these learning principles into a blueprint for your future. Because understanding how to learn faster is just the first step. What matters is how you use it.